So, Caitlin Clark has gotten some backlash from some parts of the Times article. And whether it be people that wanted to use her to push a narrative clapping back at her, or not even clapping back, just turning on her, or whether it be WNBA owners, in one regard, Renee Montgomery refusing to say anything positive about Caitlin, and then another one basically saying that Caitlin Clark doesn't deserve anything she gets, and basing it all on race. And we've now got, thankfully, some like big prominent athletes defending her. Of course, none of them are from the WNBA, but it is what it is. Before we get on to that, we're trying to hit 40,150 subscribers. We are 7 off. We're trying to do that by the end of the day. Anyway, so I saw a post on Caitlin Clark named Time Magazine. This is obviously the one of the worst things I've ever heard. WNBA player Lexie Brown. Actually, I do want to apologize. It's just been Lexie Brown. It has just been Lexie Brown. And as much as, like, yes, she's a WNBA player, and to be fair, she'd be a pretty good WNBA player, in my opinion, if it wasn't for her illness. I don't know how much longer she's going to be a WNBA player. I think her future is in media. Like, we see her on Gil's Arena all the time. And the one thing I like about Lexie Brown is, even though, yeah, she was I'm not going to say Caitlin Clark hater, she was a Caitlin Clark denier. And then after playing her once last season, she was like, oh yeah, no, Caitlin Clark's the truth. Actually, sorry, it was twice. When first time Caitlin Clark cooked her team with 2 back-to-back 30-footers to ice the game. Second time she had 30. She was just like, yeah, no, Caitlin Clark's the first thing on our scout report. She's the truth. But all of this ridiculous things. And, like, I'm looking through some of the replies. Is this a big account? No. But this is Chris Evert. Chris Evert is a absolute, like, again, a near 70-year-old. But she has literally won. How many slams she won? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. She's won 18 slams. 4 tour finals. And 3. She's won 21 slams if you include doubles. Like, she's one of the greatest tennis players of all time. She is somebody who has almost been as successful in the sport as Serena Williams. And she's there basically saying Caitlin Clark deserves this award because of her talent and contributions both on and off the court. And that's the reality of the situation is you've got one of the GOATs of tennis speaking up. You have literally got defending her from this. And you have got this, and I really, really like this response from Gabby Thomas, who is, again, she is an athlete who has spent time around Caitlin Clark. And she basically was calling out Riley Gaines. And this is Riley Gaines. No one was asking for Caitlin Clark to position herself as a right-wing hero. All she had to do is remain neutral. And I stand by the point. She can remain neutral if she wants to remain neutral. She can take a side if she wants to take a side. I'll always stand by players should never be forced to be activists. The league should never be an activist league. If a player wants to be an activist, and I'm not saying Caitlin Clark is an activist. If a player wants to be an activist like a Tash Cloud, if a player wants to be a freaking Trump supporter like Sophie Cunningham, I don't care. If a player wants to be an activist, I don't care. If a player wants to endorse Kamala, I don't care. If a player wants to try to uplift the league, I don't care. If a player wants to try to uplift the league, uplift people that they feel maybe haven't gotten the credit they deserve, I don't care. I really don't care. Players can say and do what they want. And Gabby Thomas said, you don't just have to share your opinion on everything, just sit with them now. I don't really mind. That response is what it is. Caitlin Clark shouldn't need to apologize for being white, which is a comment. And I don't think she necessarily did that, but I can see how it read like that. And I will stand by that. Like, that was the first thing the way I read it initially. And Gabby Thomas says, agreed, nor should she apologize for acknowledging the POC, the people of color that came before her and played a significant role in building the league. And I stand by that too. Caitlin Clark should not apologize for a word that she said in that Time article. And then I heard some post where it's like people saying, oh, like, this is my truth. When it's like, man, if you just change the words like, this is my experience, this is from my experience, it's like, it's the same narrative, it's the same difference. It makes makes no bit of difference, except obviously people aren't going to complain about too much. And like, look, I think players can say what they want. But I like the fact that Gabby Thomas has come out to defend Caitlin Clark. And I genuinely think that Gabby Thomas would would have defended Caitlin Clark if she had said nothing. I think if Caitlin Clark had said nothing in the Time article and they still came out with this stuff, I think the likes of Gabby Thomas, the likes of Chris Evert, I think would be a lot of people that would be still defending her. I think that we'd see, but the difference is we don't see it publicly. Like, all of the crap that she's getting, and a lot of people are like, oh, why don't the people that are closest to Caitlin Clark talk? And I genuinely think that Caitlin Clark just doesn't want this narrative at all. I don't think she wants the narrative for people supporting her. I don't think she wants the narrative for people against her. I think she just wants people to shut the hell up. There's a reason why, no matter what, you will never see like Lexie Hull going out of her way to defend Caitlin Clark as a person, except for just talk about her on a podcast. But she'll never defend her in this regard. You'll never hear Aaliyah Boston. You'll never hear Kate Martin. You'll never hear Conor McCaffrey really saying anything, her boyfriend, publicly. Because there's nothing to be gained by trying to defend yourself in the court of public opinion on Twitter. But it is always nice to see some like elite sports people deciding, no, this isn't right, and we're gonna make sure that at least someone can see publicly that no, this isn't all just against Caitlin Clark. She doesn't have to say this. She doesn't have to do any of this, and she deserves everything she's gotten. So, yeah, that's just my opinion on the situation. Look, you can agree, you can disagree with what I think, but I just like the fact that there are people talking up. Unfortunately, it's not any WNBA players other than other than Lexie Brown, who again is someone that I would think would have no issue speaking out against the W, because she's not on the craziest contract, and I reckon she'll be once she's done, which could be soon enough because of her health issues with health, she will be straight up. I think she'll be a full-time guest on Gil's Arena, and then I wouldn't be surprised if these type of players can start up their own things. And that's like something that a lot of players could look to do. A lot of people could look to see as their kind of long-term future, especially when there are some players like Gilbert Arenas, like Jeff Teague, that really got in on it early, and in fairness, have created a pretty good show. Like, it doesn't matter what people say, as long as people will watch, they'll bring them on. Like, Swoops. Every single time Charles Swoops set foot on Gilbert Arenas' podcast, there's a new viral clip, which Gilbert Arenas... I don't understand how Gilbert Arenas can like simultaneously be one of the smart, if you look at what he does, he is an incredibly smart person. But if you listen to what he says, you're just like, what is going on? And then occasionally you'll say something, you're like, oh wow, this is insightful. And then you remember that he brought a gun into the locker room, and you're like, Gilbert Arenas can simultaneously be the smartest and dumbest person in the room at the same time, no matter what room he's in. And the fact Lexie Brown's been doing pretty well off that means that it's like the likelihood is that she's good without the WNBA, so she's willing to kind of speak out against some of this stuff. But no, you won't see any other players saying a negative word, because it's not a popular stance to be positive towards 22 from Indiana.